All right. Salam, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. This is organized by the FAST Alumni Canada Association. My name is Shireen Islam. I'm a board member of the Alumni Association here. Today's topic is landing remote and on-site jobs through LinkedIn prospecting. As we know, LinkedIn is actually one of the most effective professional networking tools, and it is used widely by companies and recruiters to search for talent and hiring. Our guest today is Mohammad Aoun. He is from FAST NU Lahore 2006 campus. Mohammad Aoun has a vast experience in sales consulting in the technology sector in North America, EU, and Middle East. I'm really happy to have him today. He has in-depth knowledge about, how to go about job prospecting using LinkedIn. And I think it's basically this is an area that I think everybody should be really looking more in. Because I know most of the people are looking at other areas like Indeed or referrals and all of those work. But LinkedIn really has grown where you can look for work outside of your networking, basically reach out to areas where you have not, or companies where you've not thought of as well. So today, basically, if you have any questions, feel free, use the chat feature, unmute your mic and speak up, or जो भी आपको comfortable हो, please go ahead. Urdu, English, आप जिस इसमें पूछना चाहें, go ahead. Mohammad Aoun has also shared his email and LinkedIn profile. We can also do some follow-up questions after the session. I will hand over to Mohammad Aoun right now, so he can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much, Shireen, for introducing me, first of all, into this community. And happy to help the FAST Alumni network in any way that I can. So first of all, I think सबसे बड़ा credit I want to give to FAST Alumni community, people like yourself, to Rafael, who are bringing these people together, because obviously this is the skilled people and talent that is that's available in Canada and North American market. So unko इकट्ठा करना is definitely the first objective, so that we can then collaborate around different ventures. So I think wonderful job there. The second thing is I want to introduce myself a little bit more, ताकि मैं थोड़ा, my background will set the pace for the conversation as well. कि किन areas में maybe I can help. I will definitely be sharing a lot of information today. और उसको I want to make it collaborative. इसका there's no, by no means I want to be the teacher and make you guys the students और चुप करके मैं lecture दे के यहाँ से चला जाऊँ. I want to make it more interactive. तो feel free to ask questions. हम इसको दरम्यान में भी pause, I'll take some pauses. वहाँ पे भी आप लोगों को questions हो तो I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my abilities. And आखिर में भी हों, and post this webinar भी अगर कोई questions मेरा किसी के हों तो feel free to reach out to Shireen, to myself, over LinkedIn, over email, and hopefully we can take it forward. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं जी. मेरा नाम मोहम्मद ऑन है. मैं फास्ट से मैंने टेलीकम्युनिकेशन इंजीनियरिंग की 2006 में. मैंने आई गॉट इंडक्टेड इनटू फास्ट लाहौर, और 2011 में आई ग्रेजुएटेड. Or ever since that, I have done only one thing, except for a few months here and there. I have only done sales for software consulting companies, North American companies primarily, Canada-based, US-based. और उसमें ये दोनों ही तरह की टेक कंपनीज आ जाती हैं. कस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट सर्विसेज कंपनीज भी आ जाती हैं, SaaS कंपनीज भी आ जाती हैं. So most of my experience has been working in the tech industry in the North American markets, doing software sales. अब इसमें and then I've not just only worked with companies, I've also done tons of consulting as roles as well, जहाँ पर मैंने freelancers को और different individuals को, independent contractors को, I've helped them land some projects, not just in the North American market but also in the European market and Gulf markets. So that's a little bit of background. And then I've done tons of other testing projects as well, like I've done Amazon FBA kind of ventures. आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा आइडिया अगर होगा e-commerce selling का, तो Amazon FBA के ऊपर I've done some work. I've done some crypto mining, crypto trading, and all of that here and there just to test the waters here and every day. So ये है कुछ introduction about myself. आज का थोड़ा सा एजेंडा डिस्कस कर लेते हैं मीटिंग का. I'm going to do a screen share. Let me know when everybody can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So is the text also viewable?
It's a little small. Maybe अगर आप इसको full screen करें तो maybe it's better.
Hopefully this is better now.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. परफेक्ट. सो हम लोगों ने बेसिकली, मैं पहले एजेंडा फॉर द वेबिनार डिस्कस कर लेता हूँ. एक हम क्विक लुक थोड़ा सा डिस्कस करेंगे कि ये जो गेटिंग हायर्ड है एज ऑफ 2024 फरवरी एंड मार्च 2024, व्हाट डज इट रियली लुक लाइक. एक थोड़ा फ्रॉम 10,000 फीट ओवरव्यू जॉब मार्केट को थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे और इसकी डायनामिक्स को थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे कि हम लोगों ने अगर if you want to not just find a job but also maybe for your own B2B company as well, if you want to get more projects, what is the process look like, what are some of the blockers, what is how can we build a systematic process for applying to jobs and so on and so forth. थोड़ा सा हम statistics को discuss करेंगे जो LinkedIn से specific हैं, just to kind of put in front of you and set the perspective right. क्योंकि जब बंदा हायर कर रहा होता है ना और उसको कहीं पे अगर फॉर एग्जांपल रिस्पांस ना आ रहा हो तो यू लूज हार्ट. सो आई एम गोना शेयर सम स्टैटिस्टिक्स विद यू, वो जो कि आपको दे हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड कि लिंक्डइन और इन जनरल नॉर्थ अमेरिकन आईटी मार्केट अभी कहाँ पे स्टैंड कर रही है और उसमें कितनी डिमांड है, सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. उसके बाद कुछ सेल्स के जॉब सर्च के हैक्स के ऊपर बात कर लेंगे. और हम रेडिली, मेरे पास लिंक्डइन भी अवेलेबल है, सेल्स नेविगेटर अवेलेबल है, तो आई मीन किसी का क्वेश्चन हो तो वी कैन गो इनटू लिंक्डइन और उसको लाइव हम टेस्ट भी करके देख सकते हैं. इट्स ऑल अप टू यू, व्हाटएवर क्वेश्चन यू हैव फील फ्री टू आस्क. कुछ थोड़ा सा हम एटीएस एप्लीकेंट ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम्स की बात कर लेंगे, रेज्यूमेज के ऊपर क्या. I'm going to show you some things. I've brought in some live examples of the mistakes that people do, and I've also come up with some recommendations of how to correct them, what to do, what not to do. ठीक है, तो वो वाली कुछ चीजें भी हैं. फिर कुछ हम लोग देखेंगे कि एटीएस, हमारा रेज्यूमे रेडी हो गया, हमारा लिंक्डइन रेडी हो गया, हमें डायनामिक्स का पता, हमने एक प्रोसेस भी बिल्ड कर लिया. अब नेक्स्ट चीज ये आ जाती है कि हम लोगों ने जब आउटरीच शुरू की, जॉब्स पे अप्लाई करना शुरू किया, तो होपफुली हमें बहुत सारे मैसेजेस भी आएंगे, कहीं पे ईमेल में आएंगी, कोई कॉल सेटअप होंगी रिक्रूटर्स के साथ. उसमें से हमारी कुछ स्क्रीनिंग कॉल्स भी होती हैं, राइट. स्क्रीनिंग कॉल्स होती है मल्टी स्टेज रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस. तो उसमें से हाउ टू काइंड ऑफ गेट पास द रिक्रूटमेंट गेट कीपर्स, बिकॉज एसेंशियली वो they're not the decision makers, so to speak. वो basically they are to vet and disqualify any candidates that should not be in the recruitment cycle. So उनको किस तरह we have to get past them. फिर कुछ बात कर लेंगे इंटरव्यूज के अंदर स्टार टेक्निक की, जो कि आई एम श्योर सम ऑफ यू माइट नो अबाउट इट. थोड़ा सा हम बात कर लेंगे ड्यू डिलिजेंस ऑन कंपनीज जिसमें आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, उसकी ड्यू डिलिजेंस करनी है और किस टाइम पे करनी है. जिस टाइम पे आप यूर अप्लाइंग डेली ऑन हंड्रेड्स ऑफ जॉब्स, यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट कि आप उसी टाइम बैठ के सारी कंपनीज को भी स्टडी कर रहे हो. सो उसको कैसे हमने देखना है. एंड देन हम कुछ बात कर लेंगे लिंक्डइन मैनेजमेंट एज ए सर्विस एज वेल, जो कि हम अभी ऑफर कर रहे हैं टू मल्टीपल रिसोर्सेज इन नॉर्थ अमेरिकन मार्केट एंड ग्लोबली एज वेल. तो ये कुछ एजेंडा है फॉर द वेबिनार. और इसके बीच में अगर कोई क्वेश्चंस हो तो फील फ्री टू आस्क. शुड वी स्टार्ट, शिरीन?
Sure, it's a jam-packed agenda. Go ahead. Very exciting.
Sure. So what I'm going to try is कि हम इसको wrap up करें between 30-35 minutes में, और फिर किसी को questions हो तो we'll go into that. So this is one screen. So I'll try to minimize the text, लेकिन काफी सारी चीजें थी discuss करने की. I want to kind of put the whole outreach strategy in front of you. So मैं, क्योंकि I come from a sales background, and feel free to stop me down as well अगर I'm going too fast. I want to break this recruitment cycle and put it in front of you. Okay, what does it really look like? Or what I want from everybody is कि आप looking at this triangle on the right hand side on the screen, you figure out कि आपको issue, आपको problem, अगर आज के दिन में आपने recruitment अगर आप hiring के लिए interviews पे apply कर रहे हैं तो आपको issue कहाँ पर आ रहा है? Number one, can you see my cursor?
जी जी बिल्कुल.
सो देखें, नंबर वन एक चीज है कि अगर आर यू गेटिंग जॉब ऑफर्स बट नॉट एबल टू क्लोज दैट, ये एक सेगमेंट है जिसमें लोगों को इशू आता है. लाइक उनको ने कैसे सैलरी नेगोशिएट करनी है, उन लोगों ने किस तरह से अपने पसंद की जॉब के ऊपर अप्लाई करके उधर से जॉब ऑफर नहीं, ये एक एरिया है. इससे पहला ये क्या कि ओके, इफ यू नॉट गेटिंग जॉब ऑफर्स एज ऑफ टुडे, आर यू गेटिंग जॉब इंटरव्यूज? और अगर आप जॉब इंटरव्यूज कर रहे हैं, इंटरव्यूज पास नहीं हो रहे, तो फिर हम वी कैन टॉक अबाउट मतलब एट लेंथ कि जी इंटरव्यू को क्लियर किस तरह करना है. ये एक और सेगमेंट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जिसके ऊपर बात की जा सकती है, मे बी आज, मे बी इन फॉलो अप सेशंस, बट वी कैन डू दैट. अगर आपको नंबर ऑफ इंटरव्यूज, अगर इंटरव्यूज आपको नहीं आ रहे, तो फिर आपको ये असेस करना चाहिए कि आपको नंबर ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सेज कितने आ रहे हैं, लाइक पॉजिटिव कंपनीज रीचिंग आउट टू यू एंड कॉन्वर्सेशंस हैपनिंग. तो ठीक है, आपका इंटरव्यू नहीं हो रहा, बट कोई आप लोगों की आपकी कॉन्वर्सेशंस चल रही हैं किसी कंपनी के साथ, तो योर योर लीड्स सो टू स्पीक आर फॉलिंग थ्रू द क्रैक एट दिस स्टेज. तो फिर हम वी कैन टॉक अबाउट कि अपनी रिस्पॉन्स मैनेजमेंट को कैसे इंप्रूव करना है, सो दैट आर नंबर ऑफ इंटरव्यूज गेट मैक्सिमाइज्ड. और अगर आपको रिस्पॉन्सेज नहीं हो रहे, तो फिर आई गेस द क्वेश्चन इज कि आप लोग एप्लीकेशंस पे कितना अप्लाई करें. सो आई गेट रेगुलरली आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन कि मुझे रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा, बट व्हेन आई आस्क देम कि आपने पिछले 30 डेज में 60 डेज में कितना जॉब्स पे अप्लाई किया है, सो आई गेट टू नो कि अच्छा मैंने 5 जॉब्स पे किया है, 10 जॉब्स पे किया है, और वो रेलेवेंट जॉब्स की हम बात करें. सो ये आई वांटेड टू मेक श्योर कि मैं ये आई पुट दिस ट्रायंगल एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्वर्सेशन, ताकि आप खुद इंडिपेंडेंटली आफ्टर दिस वेबिनार भी थोड़ा सा इसको सोचें कि किस स्टेज पे आपको इशू आ रहा है. Similarly, I also want to emphasize on the fact that we also not only want to keep LinkedIn or just one forum in our picture. LinkedIn will definitely be the focus of attention in today's conversation, but that is not to say that Indeed या Canada का job bank है, or there's tons of other remote job portals and platforms जहां पे आपको remote work मिल सकता है. वहां पर आप लोग क्या करें, how solid is your profile there? तो ये सारा कुछ हम आज की प्रोफाइल में देखेंगे. तो क्विकली इन बुलेट पॉइंट्स को गो थ्रू कर लेते हैं. आई वांट टू मेक इट काइंड ऑफ, आई वांट टू स्टेट द ऑब्वियस कि गेटिंग हायर्ड इज अ नंबर्स गेम. ठीक है, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, द मोर you have those lottery tickets, the more you apply, the more proportionally you will start get to see the responses. So first off, no brainer, please apni jo, if you're not getting response from applying on 10 jobs, make it to 100 jobs and see what type of response you get. If you still don't get response, then obviously your messaging or something like your resume, there's some issue with that. Secondly, there is no place for runners up in hiring. So there's only one position, for example, that is looking to be filled. So uske andar it is important that a few right steps will get you the job, and one wrong step, you'll miss the job. So there's no place for runners up. If you want to get hired, it is important कि हम इन सारी stages को, application की stage को, response की stage को, interviews की stage को, और offer negotiation की stages को, सारों को correctly and smartly हम इनको traverse करें. Thirdly, I want to emphasize on this fact कि please don't limit yourself to Canada. ये एक बहुत बड़ा misconception है. If the whole US market can outsource to India, to Pakistan, getting hired as an independent contractor, as a freelancer in today's world, you can absolutely get projects from Europe. You can absolutely get projects from USA. It's just how you message, how you position yourself. मैंने पर्सनली खुद इवन दिसंबर के अंदर यूरोप के अंदर पोजीशंस क्लोज की हैं. तो इट इज एब्सोल्युटली अ मिसकंसेप्शन कि जी सिर्फ कनाडा के अंदर, इफ वी आर सिटिंग इन कनाडा तो वी शुड ओनली लिमिट आवरसेल्फ. कनाडा को फोकस जरूर बनाना चाहिए, बट बाकी कंट्रीज को भी एक्सप्लोर करना चाहिए. लास्टली, कास्ट अ बिग नेट. The more you apply, the more responses you'll have. Don't narrow your outreach. थोड़ा सा LinkedIn के statistics के ऊपर I want to emphasize because oftentimes while you're hiring you're not getting the responses, तो थोड़ा सा you lose the larger picture of what exactly is happening and what type of a market you're operating in. ठीक है, so you'll oftentimes or sometimes you're gonna feel के मुझे रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा, मुझे जॉब नहीं मिल रही, मे बी यहाँ पे डिमांड नहीं है मेरे स्किल सेट की. आई जस्ट वांट टू पुट दी स्टेटिस्टिक्स जो मैंने कल रात को ही बैठ के बेसिकली ये मैंने लिंक्डइन के ऊपर जाकर खुद सर्च किया. आई पुट ऑन सम फिल्टर्स एंड देन आई केम अप विद दीस नंबर्स एंड डिड सम रिसर्च ऑन गूगल. There's 930 million plus users updating their information on LinkedIn. So that's how big this platform is. Okay, there's no other platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. There's no other professional platform that has so many people updating their information in live, in real time. So this is the LinkedIn. This is LinkedIn as of today. Secondly, अगर हम बात करें CEOs की, who are the decision makers, तो नॉर्थ अमेरिकन मार्केट के अंदर हमारे पास 3.2 मिलियन CEOs हैं जो सिर्फ नॉर्थ अमेरिकन मार्केट के अंदर बैठे हुए हैं, जो कि लिंक्डइन के ऊपर प्रेजेंट हैं. So 3.2 million CEOs का मतलब ये है कि there's tons and tons of jobs that are present there as well. तो नॉर्थ अमेरिकन के अंदर I've only accounted for America and Canada. So these countries are there. And then I did a quick search and I found 600,000 plus IT jobs posted in 1 month in Canada and US in the last 1 month alone. So it's 600,000 jobs IT से specific आज के दिन में. I'm saying IT because I'm assuming that most of the people in this group are coming from IT backgrounds or are looking for jobs in the IT segment. But similarly, other industries as well have a lot of jobs, but IT is definitely the fourth runner. All we're looking for essentially is one job to start with. So I think it is absolutely not an unrealistic expectation that while sitting in Canada, while having the work authorization to work in the North American market, or at least in Canada, you're not getting a job. It's a myth. It absolutely needs to be busted, and I think it can be. And starting off today, we should reset that mindset and start off with a fresh approach to LinkedIn prospecting. One quote, I like it a lot. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best time is now. Quickly, I want to kind of take you guys. There's on the left hand side, there's quick bullet points or checklist hai, jo ki obviously that you need to do, but I'll try not to focus on that too much because ये बहुत ज़्यादा repeated चीजें होती हैं जो आपको कहीं से भी YouTube की videos में मिल जाएंगी कि हमने अपनी
Sorry, Mohammad Aoun, I'm just going to interrupt you for a minute. If you go back to the previous slide, I really like the way you've done it. Okay, this is my experience also. Okay, when I first started looking for work in Canada, I was told कि आप 4-5 जॉब के लिए अप्लाई करके ये सोचें कि आपको इंटरव्यू मिल जाएगा. That's really not the reality. You have to apply for 100 jobs. And I really like the way you've shown the picture, the number of applications, the number of responses, the number of interviews, the number of offers. That's the upside down pyramid. We need to be realistic about the approach. You have to really, as they say, looking for work is also a full-time work, right? So आपको full-time job होती है really, if you really want to. So thank you for sharing these stats. Great slide.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll obviously ये share आपके साथ deck हो जाएगा. Don't worry about it कि वो सारी information कहीं miss हो जाएगी. I think कि कोई notes लेने की भी अभी जरूरत नहीं है. Just try to absorb all of this information because मैंने इसी triangle के इसी inverse pyramid के लिहाज से इस deck को भी prepare किया है. So
And
इस
if
slide
anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask as well. All right.
जी.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So इस slide के ऊपर quickly बात कर लेते हैं. I'm not going to state the obvious, but अगर किसी का क्वेश्चन हो please stop me and ask me. It is आज 2024 में अगर किसी को नहीं पता कि LinkedIn के ऊपर अपनी पिक्चर लगानी होती है तो there's a problem. तो पिक्चर लगानी होती है जी, बिल्कुल. आप कोई भी YouTube की वीडियो जाके देखेंगे आपको पता लग जाएगी. बैकग्राउंड इमेज, बैनर इमेज को प्लीज अपने बैनर इमेजेस को करेक्ट कर लें. इट गिव्स अ वेरी गुड इंप्रेशन. टाइटल्स होने चाहिए, कीवर्ड्स होने चाहिए, कॉन्टैक्ट्स को बिल्ड करें. ये सारे सेक्शंस आपके जो फीचर्ड के सेक्शन हैं, try to put up some pictures. You should put some life behind your resume. you should have a face in front of your LinkedIn profile to try to put up some pictures of your office while you're working, of any awards that you got, any certification that you got, any testimonials from previous customers, whatever it is, put it up on the featured section. समरी सेक्शन को फिल करें, वर्क एक्सपीरियंस को फिल करें, कीवर्ड्स को यूज करें, रिकमेंडेशंस के लिए अपने नेटवर्क को रीच आउट करें. ये बहुत ऑब्वियस, बहुत कही गई चीजें होती हैं. अगर मैं if there is some question, please feel to stop me, but I'm going to focus on a couple of other things today. वो ये है कि I've come up with some good profiles, I've come up with some weak LinkedIn profiles, and I'm going to show you what is the difference, and you'll be able, I think, hopefully you'll be able to see the difference for yourself as well. So I'm going to open these links one by one, and let's try to like spend 5 minutes on these profiles and see what does a good profile look like, what does a weak profile look like. Give me a second.
I think if you're in the presentation mode, you can click on the link.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, but somehow, मुझे करने नहीं दे रहा वो. I'm trying to do it.
Go in the presentation mode.
Execute. This one?
Yeah.
Slideshow?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Got it. That's a hack.
Yeah, and you just need to share that because we won't be able to see it.
Share my screen.
Yeah, the share, when you click on the link, we are not able to see the profile.
अच्छा मैं एक दफा दोबारा स्टॉप करके ना तो कंप्लीट स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah.
इसको एग्जिट कैसे करना? Acha, I think this should give us an idea. So quickly, Zara, let's spend like 5 minutes looking at these profiles and see if we are able to find out the good profiles from the bad ones. So while we're talking here, I was also doing some research and look at this update on your application. So हम लोगों को somebody is asking, okay, let's set up a call to discuss the next steps. So Shireen, can you see the profile on
Yes,
LinkedIn now?
yeah, sure, we can. Yeah.
Okay, so you randomly pick kiye many profiles. I want to show you some things that I like about the profiles and some things that I don't like about the profiles. So what I liked about this specific profile was it's a good clear picture that she has put up, but there's a banner image that is missing. If she just added something here, this place is looking empty. It would look really wonderful. But what she's done nicely is कि basically ये जो her title, she has also mentioned that she's ex-AWS, Nutanix, Oracle. She's mom of 3, so that puts she's not just a candidate. She's trying to mix the work-life balance as well. She's also featured a lot of her activities here. So this is really kind of giving a good picture, right? Companies as of today in North American market don't hire just for technical skill. This is, I think I'm stating the obvious. They want to see people who can culturally connect with organizations and other teams and be a team player. So putting up featured images, etc., really helps. Secondly, all of the companies that she's worked with. She has put all of that information. Again, a lot of images showing the activity where she has been involved. So all of that is showing a giving a good impression. Licenses and certificates definitely build a lot of credibility. Hiring may I specifically have done for hiring for Pega developers. तो मैंने specifically Pega certified keyword से जाके search किया. तो अगर आपके profile के अंदर आपकी certifications added नहीं है, तो you might be missing out on a number of calls from the recruiters. This is another example. You might know there is a CEO of a Pakistani company as well, showing he's a very active person on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well, and his activities showing all of his sections are filled in. All of that information is filled in. आप इन profiles के links भी इसके अंदर given होंगे, detail में भी इसको study कर सकते हैं. But right now, what I want to show you is what does a complete profile look like versus what does an incomplete profile look like. This is a gaming development Web3 company, again, a Pakistani company. I think he's a Fastian as well. Right now doing some tremendous work in the gaming industry. So the profile looks great. Now I'm going to show you some incomplete profiles.
Mohammad Aoun, sorry to interrupt. We have a few of the attendees who have offered to share their profiles. If you can look at theirs as well. Okay.
Okay. अच्छा, can we do that towards the end? क्योंकि I'm already seeing कि time थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा है. I want to cover maximum things today. तो मैं उसको profiles को या तो end पे देख लूँ या क्या suggest करती हैं आप?
Yeah, sure. I think just maybe एक दो आप बैक प्रोफाइल जो दिखा रहे हैं वो करके उसके बाद if we have time towards the end definitely, yeah.
Okay. So इन profiles के मुकाबले में ज़रा एक second आप इस profile को देख लें. I just want to kind of make a point here. The profile picture is missing, the banner image is missing, the position is Singapore. If she really lives in Singapore, I think she should have put up some information about that. And then all of this information is absolutely telling me nothing. And by the way, some people shared their resumes and LinkedIn profiles with me before the webinar. तो मैंने इसी किस्म की चीजें उनके LinkedIn profiles में देखी थी. आप kindly उसको check करें. Obviously, I can't take anybody's name, but मुझे इस तरह के resumes मिले थे जिसके अंदर सिर्फ title given था, आपका role उसके ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं given था. तो companies don't want to know about the names of the companies. They want to understand कि आप उस company में क्या कर रहे थे. They want to hire you. They don't want to know about the company that you worked at. They want to know about you. So LinkedIn is your profile. Try to put up as much information about yourself. This profile, in my opinion, won't get anybody a job. You can see that she has got 0 followers, no activity on LinkedIn whatsoever. Again, ये मैंने प्रोफाइल स्पेसिफिकली इसलिए उठाया था कि यहाँ पर आप ये देखें कि प्रोफाइल का लाहौर में बेस्ड बंदा है, ओपन टू वर्क है. समटाइम्स ओपन टू वर्क आल्सो गिव्स एन इंप्रेशन दैट यूर जॉबलेस. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी है. सम पीपल रेकमेंड कि ओपन टू वर्क लगाए, रिक्रूटर्स को पता लगेगा. बट आई एम टेलिंग यू कि ओपन टू वर्क आल्सो गिव्स एन इंप्रेशन कि दैट मींस यूर जॉबलेस एज वेल, एंड पीपल विल स्क्रूटिनाइज यू अ लिटिल बिट मोर हार्डर देन दे वुड अदरवाइज डू. तो ये इस प्रोफाइल के अंदर मुझे थोड़ा सा ये नजर आया था कि इसने भी अब जैसा इफ ही वर्क्स ऑन एज अ पाइथन डेवलपर, क्या करता है पाइथन पे, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस हैज ही वर्कड ऑन, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स हैज ही वर्कड ऑन, what type of clients has he worked on. All of that information is missing here. So this is what I wanted to show. Just putting up a picture and a banner image will also not help. You need to put up information about what you have done. I think while we are here, एक प्रोफाइल किन्हीं का देख भी लेते हैं जिन्होंने शेयर किया है अपना. Where is it?
It's in the chat.
Okay. Let's look at Asim Bashir. Asim, if you're on the call, can you confirm, are you really in the United States or are you in Canada right now?
I'm in US.
Oh, you're in US. Okay, great. Okay, so you have marked your location there. Are you on an H-1B visa there?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. ये लोड नहीं हो रही है, आपने पिक्चर नहीं लगाई हुई यहाँ पे?
मैंने लगाई हुई है. I'm not sure why it's not loading.
Okay, give me a second.
I will check this.
प्रोफाइल पिक्चर नहीं शो हो रही आपकी, बैनर इमेज भी शो नहीं हो रहा. That's a weird problem वैसे. I've not seen this one before. अच्छा, हम बात कर
I
रहे थे
think
इस
on
profile.
it might be because you are not his first degree connection. I am his first degree connection, so I can see his picture. So maybe that's the reason. But he doesn't have a banner for sure. So he just has a profile picture.
So नहीं, that's not the issue. देखें, अगर आपका थर्ड डिग्री से बाहर हो ना तो नहीं नजर. अब look at this. He is a second degree connection. He's also from Confis, लेकिन उसकी प्रोफाइल पिक्चर नजर आ रही है. All of these are second degree connection. प्रोफाइल पिक्चर नजर आती है. ये क्यों नहीं आ रही मुझे
I
नहीं.
think I think it's the settings. You can set it up. Who can view your picture? You can set it up if it's for
Oh.
second or third. So maybe his settings are like that.
Yes, she's right. So I think Asim, इसको तो जल्दी से फिक्स कर लें. I think ये आपकी सेटिंग का ही इशू है. और I think you've got an excellent profile. If you're an Azure architect, Microsoft certified trainer, Confis, so all of that is there. Summary section I think is missing here, if I'm not missing out. Summary में आपने नहीं लिखा हुआ. एक summary kindly इसमें जरूर डाल दें कि summary will tell कि holistically speaking what you're doing. So if you have worked for 13 years at Confis, are you placed in US on behalf by Confis?
Yes, I moved here like 2 years ago.
Okay. अच्छा, इसको ना आप Confis इसमें ना full time अपनी location यहाँ पे भी डालें. यहाँ पे डालें कि where are you based? क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों ने who are not even in US, CEOs, sales, all of those people would have marked their location in other countries. तो यहाँ पर अगर आप Confis को अगर आप look up करेंगे ना तो बहुत सारी पाकिस्तानी presence comes up. But if you're on a H1B visa, आप यहाँ पर mention करें, and it's okay to brag even if that you've got an H1B visa as well. So if you want to write down H1B visa and your title, that will also increase the chances of getting jobs, because people will know that you don't need any type of authorization from the company, so you'll start getting more jobs. So try to put up. I mean, I don't want to brag about myself, but I just want to kind of put it in front of you. I have not hesitated from putting up on LinkedIn that I have closed 30 billion plus in sales in the last few years. So feel free to brag about your achievements. If you are an H1B visa holder, feel free to write down that you're an H1B visa holder. That will tell the companies that you don't need any type of authorization, because authorization का सवाल हर screening interview में उन्होंने आपसे पूछना है. So that will differentiate you from the candidates right off the bat. पिक्चर को आप सेट कर लें, और यहाँ पर आपने समरी का सेक्शन पूरा मिस किया है, उसमें अपनी ना एक समरी मेंशन करें कि लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल लेट मी आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन. As a senior software architect, what do you exactly do? Like, are you part of discovery calls for services customers? Are you working on a SaaS product? What exactly do you do as an architect?
Yeah, so basically, how can I say, collaborate with various stakeholders or customers starting from determining software requirements, high level specifications, design documents, and then preparing solutions and architecture blueprints, and definitely then setting up things like DevOps to automation and engineering excellence kind of things.
Wonderful. So when I asked you, you told me all those keywords that I would want to see here, क्योंकि मैंने यहाँ पर तो मुझे आपका प्रोफाइल इसलिए मिल गया क्योंकि आपने शेयर किया Zoom के अंदर. लेकिन if I do a search and I want to specifically looking for, let's say, discovery workshops, or I want to look at client facing roles, or let's say understanding requirements or setting up DevOps, or I use those keywords, मुझे पहली जॉब में वो नजर नहीं आएगा. So just stating your designation is obviously a starter, but put up the information here and try to hesitate only from keyword usage. Try to make some bullet points here. This here is nice. ये जो अभी है, obviously I'm not going to go into all of the details of these bullet points, but यही information आप यहाँ पर भी at least 2-3 lines कि what has changed since you were a principal software engineer, what has changed, what your job duties, what has changed when you became an architect. So maybe you want to highlight that as well. Similarly, Cambridge docs, if you work for 5 months here, maybe you can remove it if especially the company is not present on LinkedIn anymore. If you worked with Confis for 13 years, that's good enough. What you can also do is if you worked on a specific product, I don't know, if let's say you worked on with Barnes and Nobles, you worked with Amazon on their product or a SaaS product, feel free to mention those companies. But if you're under ND and you can't, that's understandable. I think that's pretty much what I want to say about this. Licenses certifications आपने यहाँ पे डाली हुई हैं. कुछ लोगों ने अपने वो लाइसेंस का आगे कोड भी डाला हुआ होता है which allows for that. Also you want to mention here, एक second, एजी ये आपने किस टाइम पे की थी? बिकॉज बहुत सारी सर्टिफिकेशंस में इफ पीपल आर लुकिंग फॉर एज्योर आर्किटेक्ट they need active licenses. So if you can mention कि in the year, let's say 2023, issue 2023, issue 2022, issue 2020, that will help people understand कि ये certifications अभी valid हैं या नहीं है. मैं अपनी एग्जांपल दूंगा आपको कि मैंने 2014 में HubSpot की इनबाउंड सर्टिफिकेशन की थी, but that has long expired, right? So it's pretty much of no use anymore. So people want to know about that. So इसको थोड़ा सा डालें, और if you're based in US, try to put up some client pictures, some meetings that you've done, so that people know that you're more than a resume. Try to build that image upfront. You have 2,000 followers, so I think that's okay. I think that's where I want to stop at the moment. Any questions so far before we move forward?
So I have a question. This is Talha. So my question is कि आपने बताया कि जितनी भी आपने पोजीशंस आपकी कंपनी में हैं सब में आप टेक्स्ट डालें, इंक्लूड करें, तो आप नहीं समझते ये बहुत ज़्यादा टेक्स्ट हो जाएगा? और क्या जो भी रिक्रूटर्स हैं वो इतना ज़्यादा टेक्स्ट को पढ़ते हैं कि हर पोजीशंस पे जाके देखें कि उन्होंने क्या क्या अचीवमेंट उनकी की है हर पोजीशन के हवाले से?
देखिए, रिक्रूटर ने ना आपके प्रोफाइल को इस तरह स्किम करना है. मैं I'll give you an example. Some recruiter says, okay, I want to hire for sales. He's going to search and he's going to say, okay, the guy has got close 30 million, works in web development, mobile development, data engineering, cloud, Web3, podcast host. Okay. Looks very active, looks interactive. Okay. Works with this company for 1 year, works with this company for 2 years. दो चार उसने keywords like software sales की हुई, IT recruitment की हुई है, business development की हुई है. He's going to say, okay. ठीक है. That's how a recruiter looks. Why I am insisting कि you put on the text is because LinkedIn पे आपकी optimization तभी होगी अगर आपकी हर job के against आपके keywords अंदर डले हुए हों. So LinkedIn itself ने भी तो आपको rank करना है ना. If let's say आज के दिन में हम कहते हैं कि यार मुझे एक Azure architect चाहिए, but the profile has mentioned only one time Azure architect versus there's and other people have optimized, they've added Azure in their skills, they have got references, recommendations that mentioned Azure, the label is showing Azure, the JDs are showing Azure. There's a chance that the algorithm is going to show them first and put you later. So that's also the reason why I want to emphasize that. But more than that, if you have an experience of something, why not state that? So I think recruiters को जरूरत नहीं है कि पूरा text पढ़ें. मैंने ये text नहीं पढ़ा. अभी तक I have frankly not even gone through these bullet points. But all I'm saying is if I have these bullet points here, and if need be, I can go down and read that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I think हम लोगों ने 5 मिनट लगाने थे लेकिन थोड़ा ज्यादा टाइम निकल गया है. इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा आगे चलते हैं. So good profiles, weak profiles, please ये इसके ऊपर do some homework yourself as well. If you have any questions, let me know. But I think that should put some things in perspective. So हमने LinkedIn की बात कर ली. Let's for a moment understand और assume कि सबका LinkedIn आज की डेट के अंदर ना अपडेट हो गया. ठीक है. So अब आ जाते हैं हम अपने इस स्टेज से बाहर कि जी हम लोगों ने जॉब्स पे अप्लाई करना है, हमने अपना रेज्यूमे भेजना है. तो हम लोगों को जो है अपना रेज्यूमे चाहिए होगा, ऑब्वियसली अपना लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल चाहिए होगा. लेट्स से आपने अप्लाई कर दिया या आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट थिंग दैट्स गोना आस्क यू इज योर रेज्यूमे. I want to show you one bad example of how people do job searches, and then I'm going to show you something that in my opinion allows a recruiter or an ATS to quickly see कि यार ये resume ठीक है, इसको हमें shortlist कर लेना चाहिए. So let me ask some of you a question here. instead of just being the person who's talking all the time. Can anyone say what is wrong with this first red block?
Can you maximize the screen? I mean, possible.
Sending out emails to everyone and not to a certain person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. आप ये देखें, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये कोई खातून है सुमीता घोष, जीमेल से आउटरीच किया. ये मैं अगर ओपन करके दिखाऊं ना आपको, इसमें व्हाट शी इज डन इज ना हाई फर्स्ट नेम ना कुछ पर्सनलाइजेशन. शी जस्ट सेड कि मैं पाइथन करती हूँ. एंड लुक एट दीज ईमेल्स पे देखें, ये इसमें तकरीबन 200 लोग हैं. ठीक है, वोडाफोन के लोग एडेड हैं, इसके अंदर एक्सेंचर के लोग एडेड हैं, इसके अंदर इन्फोसिस के लोग एडेड हैं, इसके अंदर पीडब्ल्यूसी के लोग एडेड हैं. सो 200 लोगों को उठा के एक इस तरह की मेल भेज देने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. ठीक है, आई थिंक goes without saying, this is not going to get you anywhere. I don't know what the thought process she had in her mind. Secondly, she's saying, I have also attached my resume. Let me maximize. She says, I've also attached my resume to help you understand my expertise better, but there's no resume attached. The attachment is missing. Maybe she was referring this as a resume, but this is not a resume either. And then the formatting is just very poor. I mean, she could have at least used some bullet points agar mention karna hi tha. So these are some of the ways that people do outreach. Now she's going to claim on some podcast and webinar that I reached out to 200 people and I did not get any response. Well, you should not get any response. So I mean, this definitely does not help. ठीक है, तो इस टाइप की चीजें स्पैमिंग करना और एक्सपेक्ट करना कि आपको एक ही दफा में मैसेज का कोई रिप्लाई आ जाएगा, इट्स नॉट गोना वर्क. इन फैक्ट दिस ईमेल लैंडेड इन माय स्पैम. आई थिंक आई पुट इट बैक इन इनबॉक्स जस्ट टू शो यू गाइस, and for anybody it's gonna land in spam. तो Gmail भी इतना smart है कि you can't be sending out to 200 people and without even saying hi first name and so on and so forth. So this is something. I want to spend like few minutes on a good resume. कि रिक्रूटर की आय से आपने देखना है कि रिक्रूटर या एटीएस जब पढ़े तो उसको रेज्यूमे में वो किस तरह देखता है. ठीक है, by all means nobody goes through any resume full time. मैंने अपना भी रेज्यूमे मेरे ख्याल में मैंने 10 साल में पूरा नहीं पढ़ा. ठीक है, so expecting कि कोई रिक्रूटर पढ़ता होगा, कोई एटीएस पढ़ता होगा, कुछ ऐसा नहीं होता. ठीक है, what you need to do is in one go highlight those keywords that you want the recruiter to see. ठीक है, so this is a profile that I created for one of my consultants that's based in Dubai. He helps me, he leads our .NET efforts there. So he is in the first line. I wanted to show the recruiter that I'm an architect, software architect, lead engineer, integrations lead, because these are the keywords that people search for. In the second line, I want to mention what are the technology stacks: .NET, .NET Core, Azure, Logic Apps, SQL. That's it. He might have worked on Vue.js. He might have worked on React, but that's not what he specializes in, so I've not marked it. LinkedIn profile ऐड किया, email address मार्क किया, contact number उसी country का मार्क किया जहां पर वो base है. Even if he's based in Pakistan, he has to keep his Dubai number active. You guys are based in Canada, so obviously your numbers should be live, but make sure that your numbers have a country code, so people know where are you calling from or where are you available. 8 in one look. रिक्रूटर ने आपका प्रोफाइल पूरा नहीं देखना, इसलिए प्रोफाइल समरी में, आई थिंक आसिम का भी हम देख रहे थे. सो आसिम वो जो समरी सेक्शन में आपको कह रहा था ना, उसमें आपका इन वन लुक आप खुद बता दें पहली लाइन में कि मेरा टोटल एक्सपीरियंस कितना है, क्योंकि पहली लाइन का पहला स्टार्ट the recruiter is going to read that. 8+ years of full stack development, .NET Core, Azure के ऊपर मैंने की हुई है. 5 साल मैंने integrations की हुई हैं, Logic Apps, BizTalk Server, SSIS के ऊपर. ये 2 मेरी certifications हैं, 2023 में issue हुई थी. Right off the bat मैंने ये बता दिया, अगर तो मेरी ये 2 certifications ही is enough to build credibility कि अच्छा इसको .NET कुछ ना कुछ, Azure कुछ ना कुछ तो आती होगी ना, certification करके बैठा हुआ है. So this is what you want to put in your summary. Work experiences को please reverse chronological orders में लिखें. पहले लिखें client का नाम, नीचे लिखें रोल जो डेवलपमेंट का है, आपका इंटीग्रेशन का है, क्या करते हैं आप, उसको as is रोल का नाम लिखें, डेजिग्नेशन लिखें, नीचे टेक्नोलॉजी स्टैक लिखें कीवर्ड्स में कि आपने क्या टेक स्टैक यूज किया था इस प्रोजेक्ट पे, नीचे ड्यूरेशन लिखें जिस ड्यूरेशन के लिए आपने उसके ऊपर काम किया था, और नीचे अपना रोल एग्जैक्टली क्या, एज अ लीड डेवलपर इसने पेपर सोर्स के प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर क्या काम किया था। सो इसने उनके डाटा सोर्सेज को एज़्योर के ऊपर मूव किया था, ऑन प्रेम माइग्रेशन की थी, कोई वेब एप्लीकेशन बिल्ड की थी, क्या व्हाट एग्जैक्टली डिड यू डू, सो योर रोल शुड बी मेंशन्ड। ठीक है, कुछ चीजें हैं जो कि अगेन नो ब्रेनर, but I'm listed them here, but I think we should, all of this information goes without saying। आपने अपनी, अच्छा ये चीज है कि इस रेज्यूमे के ऊपर आप अपनी प्रोफाइल पिक्चर ऐड ना करें। फॉर वंस आई एम गोना से स्टेट बी ब्लंट, ठीक है, a lot of people might say कि यार ये किस तरह की आप बात करें, लेकिन आई एम गोना से दैट कि we as Asians, as Pakistanis or Indians or Bangladeshis come from a different culture, ठीक है। So if we come from a different culture, we don't want to put our Asian faces right in front of them. Sorry, I'm saying that. A lot of people will say a lot of tons of things to me on that, but I'm sorry, this works. ठीक है, so अपनी प्रोफाइल पिक्चर आपकी लिंक्डइन के ऊपर एडेड है, किसी ने जाके देखना हो देखें। रिक्रूटर के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि वो आपके देखे टेक्नोलॉजी स्टैक्स को, आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस को, दैट्स इट, दैट्स ही व्हाट इज कंसर्न्ड अबाउट। ठीक है, यू पुट दैट इन फ्रंट ऑफ इन द रेज्यूमे, नो नीड टू पुट अप अ पिक्चर, एंड आई थिंक दैट शुड बी गुड। एक्सपीरियंसेस को रिवर्स chronological order में लिखें। I have been on tons of interviews जिसमें tech people went on interviews and they started off by talking about कि उनकी पहली जॉब कैसी थी, हालांकि उनके 15 साल का एक्सपीरियंस हो चुका है। खुदारा ऐसा ना करें। रिक्रूटर्स का everybody has got a mental bandwidth, तो उसको अबाइड फॉर करते हुए आप मेक श्योर कि रेलेवेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स को टॉप पे रखें, रीसेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स को टॉप पे रखें, and try to highlight what the customer is looking for, what the recruiter is looking for.
There is a question, I think, sorry.
Yeah,
Answer.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. I have a bit of question. So basically, जो work history है, अस्सलाम वालेकुम everyone. Basically जो work history है, उसके अंदर I've seen at other places that work history के अंदर जब आप अपने experiences share करते हैं, bullet points के अंदर, if you mention them quantitatively, like whatever you achieved in that area, like working as a lead developer or as an automation developer, how many projects that did you do? क्वांटिटेटिवली आप उसको करो कि आपने उसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें कर ली हैं, कितनी कितनी की हैं। तो इज इट अ गुड थिंग, या आप इसको बुलेट पॉइंट्स में एक्सप्लेन करो, क्वांटिटेटिवली ना करो? सो दैट इज माय क्वेश्चन।
Okay, so what you're asking is, should you mention that you work with 250 plus customers? Is that like
Yes,
stats
kind of
link?
this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think a little bit of stats help you understand what the customers do. But what happens is आप standard किसी custom software development company की website पे जाएंगे ना, आपको नजर आएगा हमने 5 साल में 250 customers के साथ काम किया है। And you start to question कि 5 साल में 250 customers के साथ आपने कैसे custom कर लिया? So don't exaggerate that. If you've got some achievement which is really something that you want to brag about and it is like it makes sense, absolutely do that. ठीक है? Like for example, अगर आपने developers के, give me an example of what type of stat or quantitative text you can think of that you might want to add on your LinkedIn. Give me an example.
Let's say you're a salesperson, okay,
Hmm.
or you're a developer. Let's say you're a salesperson and you actually worked on a sales deal of 1 million plus, okay, and you were a part of generating a revenue of over 1 million, okay, that's the sales example. Then as a developer, you worked on a software that is an Android app, and that Android app is currently being used by this many followers, this many viewers, and this many users actually. So that kind of information.
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. It's a very good question. I'll show you something. Give me a second. Okay. Give give me a second. So I think कि कुछ चीजों में it really helps. Like for example, sales में definitely helps. ठीक है, sales में everything is about numbers. So sales में आपने number quote ना किया, there's a problem. ठीक है, gaming में it is very helpful. So look at this profile. This is a profile that this again a Fastian. Some of you might know him. He works with me on the gaming side, and basically this is the same profile. Let me see. Well, this is not the one. So, Shireen, there's some questions back and forth, which is taking some time. Do you think that we can prolong this by another 15 minutes or something?
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
If it works for everybody. अच्छा, मुझे भी प्रोफाइल नहीं मिल रहा, बट गेमिंग में फॉर एग्जांपल इट रियली हेल्प्स. अगर आपने फॉर एग्जांपल आपने लेट्स से यू वर्कड ऑन अ गेम व्हिच हैज गॉट लाइक 5 मिलियन प्लस डाउनलोड्स, एब्सोल्युटली इट हेल्प्स. ठीक है, अगर आपने फॉर एग्जांपल सेल्स में है, आपने कोई 1 मिलियन या 50 मिलियन की डील क्लोज की है, ब्रैग अबाउट इट, नो प्रॉब्लम. कस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट, अगर आपको कोई इस टाइप का कोई ऐसी क्वांटिटेटिव चीज मिलती है दैट यू कैन डू इट, feel free to do that. ऐसा कोई मसला नहीं है, कोई इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. So I'm all pro bragging about your achievements. There absolutely no problem with that. ठीक है, in fact, when you're competing with other candidates, it is important to brag at least a little bit. ठीक है, you're not lying, you're just stating the things that have happened. Feel free to do that. ठीक है, so I'm going to leave that here. So formatting, please make sure formatting ठीक हो. Resumes की ऐसी कमाल किस्म की formatting होती है which absolutely is a nightmare to go through. ऐसा ना करें. अपने projects को एक systematic तरीके से read करें, और ये ATS जो applicant tracking systems होते हैं उनको भी traverse करने के लिए this helps if you have the format is right. ठीक है, बाकी आपके कंपनी नेम है, पोजीशन है, टेक स्टैक है, ड्यूरेशन है, इन सारी चीजों को मैं गो थ्रू कर चुका हूं. I want to spend some time on getting past the recruiters and gatekeepers. So let's assume कि हमने अपना LinkedIn प्रोफाइल कमाल बना लिया, हमने अपना रेज्यूमे पॉलिश कर लिया, ATS go through हुआ, and now we're starting to see some recruiters reach out to us. ठीक है, अब रिक्रूटर्स के साथ हमने क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना, इसके ऊपर I want to spend some 5 minutes. Okay, first off, understand कि ये जो रिक्रूटमेंट की कॉल्स होती है ना, these people are not technical, most probably they're not technical at all. ठीक है, so वो एक कीवर्ड उनको दिया जाता है कि हमें AWS का कंसल्टेंट चाहिए. वो LinkedIn पे जाते हैं, AWS सर्च करते हैं, उनको 5000 बंदा नजर आता है, उनमें से वो अपनी टेरिटरी को सर्च करते हैं, US कनाडा में वो बंदे निकालते हैं, 200 बंदे निकलते हैं, उनमें से जो कनेक्ट करता है उनसे उसको वो जाके ऐड करके they start having conversations. So if a recruiter calls and he's going to ask you probably some basic questions, have you got AWS experience? It's already given on your resume. Just state the obvious. Yes, absolutely. I've got tons of experience around AWS, you doing migrations from on-prem to cloud, doing from Azure to cloud, from GCP to cloud, so on and so forth. 2-3 bullet points, and there you go. It's good. No need to justify too much because they don't understand it. 90%, 95% of the recruiters don't understand the technology. They go by keywords, so no need to tell them a lot about it. Mostly recruiters try to get into their shoes and try to understand what do they want to hear and say exactly what they want to hear. So what I've done is you can go through these bullet points, but I want to show you कि recruitment की gatekeepers की जो calls आएंगी ना, उसमें ये 8-10 questions आपको आने ही आने, इनका script पहले से लिख के रख लें. ठीक है, number 1, what makes you fit for this role? आप क्यों है fit? Out of like 200 candidates that we've got, क्यों है? So क्या इसका आंसर होगा? इसका आंसर ये होगा, let's say company comes from e-commerce and you have worked on an e-commerce project in the past. Company is working on .NET, you've seen it because the resources in the company have .NET profiles. So you say, okay, so it's very interesting because I'm a .NET principal software engineer with 8+ years of experience working on .NET technologies. I saw that multiple your product is built on .NET because the JD was shared was of .NET. The platform that you're building is an e-commerce. I worked on 5 different projects of e-commerce for Shopify, Magento, WordPress, so on and so forth. Whatever it is, try to come up with those overlapping areas, and there you go. Okay, so why you left the last company is a very important question. ये आना ही आना है आप लोगों को, especially अगर आपने open to work लगाया हुआ है तो उन्होंने आपसे पूछना ही है कि आप अपनी कंपनी क्यों छोड़ दी आपने आखिरी. ठीक है, तो इसको you need to be ready for that. I mean, time is short, so we can't go into the scripts for this, but ये वाली चीज definitely इसको the people are gonna ask you. कौन सा सिमिलर प्रोजेक्ट आपने पहले किया हुआ है? Don't go into a lot of details. Just simply say मैंने ये 3-4 customers का नाम बोलें. They're not going to ask you about what type of companies they do and whatnot. Just give them some information which helps them understand कि इस बंदे का experience है इससे relevant. So I've worked on this project. It was a .NET project, and I was involved in building the application for that. And there you go. आप open to relocation हैं या नहीं? Don't say no. अगर आप नहीं भी है ना, आप कहीं मैं relocation के लिए हूँ. ठीक है, once you have like 60 job offers, उसमें से फिर you can be selective. But if this is your first call and they say, are you looking to relocate, and you say no, you're gone. ठीक है ना, तो ये इस टाइप का ऐसा आंसर मत दें जो कि आपको disqualify करे at least at this stage. Try to have as many offer letters and then try to see to go from there. What are you looking for in your next role is a very important thing. Try to look up the company. वो company करती क्या है, उस कंपनी के अंदर जो जेडी हुई भी है शेयर वो क्या है एग्जैक्टली वो जो जेडी है वही आपका आंसर है. मुझे अपने नेक्स्ट रोल में वही चाहिए जो जेडी के अंदर गिवन है चीजें वही आपने बोलनी है. आर यू अ टीम प्लेयर और एन independent contributor? The answer is I worked in independent contributor as well, but as I have progressed through my career, I have learned to work with multiple teams, so I'm completely comfortable working in team environments. ठीक है, ये बहुत important question है, ये आता है बहुत ज़्यादा. Strengths और weaknesses के लिए be ready to answer that. आपने कौन सा challenge face किया था, उसको कैसे overcome किया? Think of an example and go. Expected salary and notice period. ये questions आपको आने हैं. Time is short, so I'm going to quickly go into the due diligence of the company. There's ways to study the company before the call, but you're not going to study while applying. You're going to study the company when you get an invitation for an interview from a customer. So if you are applying to 500 companies, no need to study all of them. ठीक है, easy apply का feature होता है LinkedIn के ऊपर. आपने 100 companies में apply कर दिया, you cannot study them. ठीक है, plain and simple. But अब अगर आपको उनमें से 5 कंपनीज ने रिप्लाई कर दिया है, अब आपने उनकी नेक्स्ट रिक्रूटर की कॉल के साथ या हायरिंग मैनेजर की कॉल के साथ जाने से पहले उस कंपनी को जरूर स्टडी करें. नंबर 1 देखें उनकी वेबसाइट. नंबर 2 देखें कि उस कंपनी की इंडस्ट्री कौन सी है. नंबर 3 लिंक्डइन के ऊपर जाके देखें कि उनके एम्प्लॉइज कितने हैं और किस किस लोकेशन में हैं. ये सब आपको मिल जाएगा. नंबर 4 देखें किस टाइप के कस्टमर्स के साथ वो काम करते हैं. नंबर 5 देखें सर्विसेज क्या प्रोवाइड करते हैं. प्रोडक्ट कंपनी है, सर्विसेज कंपनी है. नंबर 6 देखें कि उसकी लीडरशिप कौन है. कोई एक्स अमेजोन है, कोई एक्स माइक्रोसॉफ्ट है, कुछ है. एंड देन रेवेन्यूज विल आल्सो बी अवेलेबल समटाइम्स. ठीक है, लिंक्डइन के ऊपर अवेलेबल होंगे, वरना नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज आल्सो टेल्स यू समथिंग अबाउट द रेवेन्यूज ऑफ द. अगर कंपनी है जिसके 2-3 एम्प्लॉइज हैं, so that doesn't really tell you much about the company. Versus a company has got like 50,000 employees, so obviously it's an enterprise. Any questions so far before we go to the next step? There's just 1 or 2 more slides.
Let's complete the slides. There are lots of chats going on, but let's complete the slides, please. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. One last slide. There's a technique called STAR technique. It stands for situation, task, action and result. कुछ लोग आपको पता होगा इसका. ये आपको फैंग कंपनीज में अक्सर वो कहते हैं कि what you are going to do, we're going to ask you questions and you're expected to reply according to the STAR technique. So please learn about it. It's a very good way to explain about your relevant examples and make a good impression. Number 1, state the scene and give the necessary details of your example. कि situation थी क्या. ठीक है, उन्होंने पूछा आपसे क्वेश्चन है कि जी आपने Tell me a time when you had to deal with an unexpected situation or a bad customer. What did you do? How did you handle? How did you come out of that? सिचुएशन बतानी है आपने, कस्टमर था वो एग्रीवेट किस तरह हुआ, उसका क्या इशू था, 2 लाइनों में ये बताना है। टास्क आपका क्या था, आपने लेजॉन करना था टेक्निकल टीम्स के साथ और कस्टमर को ब्रिज करना था, और ही यू हैड टू मेक श्योर कि उसका जो इशू है उसको आपने एड्रेस करना है। लेट्स से इट्स अ बग इन एन एप्लीकेशन और एप्लीकेशन क्रैश, व्हाटएवर इट इज। एक्शन आपने क्या लिया, उसको रिस्पॉन्स टाइम आपने क्या बताया, आपने क्या कम्युनिकेट किया, और रिजल्टेंटली वो जो कस्टमर था वो was he happy, how did you come out of that situation? तो ये स्टार टेक्निक को I can't go into the depth of that, but please take a look at that. It is very effective. You should do some practice around the STAR technique. It really puts a good impression if you structure your answers according to that. So I think that's pretty much most of that. One last slide. What I've personally done, like I mentioned, there's multiple independent contributors and individual independent consultants that I'm working in the North American market with. I have my own company called Conexium. I'm going to be moving to Toronto, inshallah, at the start of May, if not earlier. I've got the skilled immigration there, so hope to connect with all of you. It's wonderful to see all of you there. It's such a nice community in one country. There's like 600 people that I'm seeing in the WhatsApp group. I'm offering this service that I can manage the LinkedIn management. I have a few resources that help me with all of this. So we can manage all of this activity that I talked about, doing the profile optimization for you, connection building on a 200. So LinkedIn allows you to build 200 connections per week. You can add CEOs, CXO level resources, recruiters, what type of people to add, all of that. We do that for you. Inbox management, response management to all the leads, job applications आपके behalf पे file करना, और pipeline को और उनसे follow up करना और interviews को set up करवाना. ये सारी चीज as a service my company is also offering. We can go into the details. Just shoot me an email at on@conexium.com and I can share the details with you of how I can help. I just want to close it here. Very nice to meet you. Please add me on LinkedIn. Let's stay in touch. I'm going to definitely need some help from all of you. I can definitely learn a lot from you guys. Let's stay in touch. Let's build the community in Canada and try to make the economy of Pakistan stronger by contributing, by sitting in Canada while working for Pakistani community. Thank you so much, everybody. Any questions, feel free to ask.
We had a very good presentation, 60 plus participants here, and there was a lot of discussion going on in the chat. Just to recap, everybody wants to know if the recording will be available. Yes, it will be available on the YouTube channel, which is Fast Alumni Canada YouTube channel. I've also posted it on the chat. आप वहाँ देख सकते हैं recording को. It will be available tomorrow. The slides, they also want to know if the slides will be available. So will you be sharing the slides?
Absolutely. I will share this deck with you after this call. I will share this deck with you in the group.
All right. The slides, the deck we will share in the Fast Alumni, the WhatsApp group for Fast Alumni Canada. Because we don't know, we have other participants, you are not in that group. If you can reach out to us, and let us know, and then maybe, we'll be able to share it with you as well. Okay. But definitely the recording will be available to everybody. Right?
I just want to bring in one more point. Rafael ka point hai. I think that's a very valid point. If there's always a link to verify your certifications right away. अगर वो link होता है तो अपनी certifications को के साथ link कर दें. I think it's a good idea. वो directly आप वहीं से vet हो जाएंगे.
Okay. A couple of other things, like there were a lot of interest के उनका भी resume, मतलब उनका LinkedIn profile review करें. We are not able to do that. We are really short of time. लेकिन जो आपने helpful hints अभी सुनी है on से, please go and look at your LinkedIn profile to see whether you have the picture, the banner picture, have you put the summary, have you shared information about the company you work for, what was your role there, वो सब आप add करें. And maybe we might have a follow-up session. I think we were planning to have one on the email marketing and some of the other topics. So we will let everybody know if that comes up in next month or the month after. ईद के बाद. ठीक है?
And one thing, just the cascading effect. I want to talk about the cascading effect that people who have perfect profile, who have been in the job market, who have a lot of, who get all the offers, they should, because all of us have limited resources. So if you can help others, so for example, if 10 people can help other 10 people, that would have a bigger impact and you can serve more people because On doesn't have a time, Sheeny doesn't have a time, and neither do I have a time to, review all the profiles. So I think you guys have had the tips. So once you guys optimize your profile, help others in optimizing their profiles as well.
Absolutely. And Shireen, we can set up like a monthly follow-up meeting or something like that, जिसमें ना हम लोगों ने ये multiple, जिस हमने बात की multiple stages है, LinkedIn के optimization की बात की, हमने resume optimization की बात की है, हमने interview prep की बात की, हमने all of that. So email marketing है, बाकी platforms हैं, TopTel है, Turing है, there's startup accelerators, there's freelance websites. इन सारी चीजों के ऊपर ना वक्तन फवक्तन we can definitely have like maybe once a month kind of a talk जिसमें we can answer these questions. If there's, by the way, is there a way, Shireen, कि हम ये questions, I see there's a lot of conversation in the text messages, अगर ये हम copy कर सकें या कुछ इस तरह, there might be some
मैं चैट शेयर कर लूंगी आप लोगों के साथ, जी आपके साथ हो, ओके
ठीक है, perfect है, because अगर कोई उसका follow up questions हो तो we can probably discuss that as well.
Yeah, but my feeling is everybody really enjoyed it. From the chats, I can see it was a very, a very vibrant discussion going on. So, acha raha session. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everybody.
I really appreciate all the participants, especially On, because it's early morning for him right now. So thanks On for jumping on the call and doing the session for us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rafael. Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.